HLN's Nancy Grace joins me live. And Nancy Grace, let's just call this big picture. I'm curious, and in your reading and watching all of this last couple of days, do you think legalizing pot for recreational use, do you think that's a good idea?
I think it's a horrible idea. And I speak not only after studying it and reading every shred of scientific and research data out there, but after seeing what it does to people on an everyday level.
How do you mean?
In a nutshell, if you could, you think marijuana should be legalized because why? I mean, you do know it's addictive, highly addictive, right? What difference, if any, does that make?
The question is this.
So are you admitting that it is addictive? I mean, isn't it true that when you smoke pot, you just want to lay on the sofa and eat? Actually, Brad Lamb, the reason I'm against the legalization of pot is because I've seen too many felonies. And I don't mean pot sales or growing pot like this guy up in Connecticut. I mean people on pot that shoot each other, that stab each other, strangle each other, drive under the influence, kill families, wipe out a whole family. The first time I ever had a pot case.
You sound like you're from the 1930s.
I'm serious in my question.
It's important.
If he had pot in his system, to me it means that he is less likely to pick a fight with someone. Hold on, Brad. The first time I ever came in the first case, it was a plea, and there was this gorgeous lady standing in the middle of the courtroom crying. And I didn't understand. I said, well, what is this case? Somebody else was taking a plea, and they said she's a stockbroker. She got addicted to pot. She ended up losing her job, wrecked her car, couldn't make the house payments on her house, so her husband got custody of the children. So now she has no car, no house, no family, nothing. I want to go to Dr. William Maroney, medical examiner, forensic pathologist, and toxicologist. What can you tell me about THC, Dr. Maroney?
It's been used for about 5,000 years. It's being promoted in certain states under laws as medical marijuana. In a social setting, it may be something that we've recognized that could diminish insight, judgment, or reduce inhibition.
Colorado legalizing, let me just say, recreational use of marijuana, the camel's nose is in the tent. His tail will surely follow. This is the beginning of widespread usage and more than just 1 ounce usage of marijuana. And I don't believe, from what I've seen for 10 years in inner city Atlanta and from being a Fed, that the recreational use of marijuana is a good thing. The reality is that scientific studies show that the ingestion or use of marijuana makes you lethargic. And are you telling me, Vinny? Are you trying to tell me with a straight face you've never heard of the munchies? I think you're both missing my point. And that point is, you seem to be offering me only a life where I've got to be drinking booze, or I've got to be smoking, or I've got to be high on pot. And you know what? I really think there's a different way to live. It's for real. Smoke or ingest pot, and you get hungry, and you eat. You live on the sofa, munching out, and you become lethargic. That's what scientific studies show. That's not what I made up in my head and told Brooke. That's what scientific studies show. I have covered and handled in court so many cases where people are high on pot or booze, they're driving, they are taking care of their children, they are cooking, and horrible, horrible things happen. So that's why I'm opposed to the legalization of pot. Well, my question is about his behavior, Dr. Maroney. I mean, the common connotation, pot goes with lethargy, with the munchies, with wanting to eat, with being laid back, not with chasing somebody down, jumping out from behind bushes, beating them in the head till they're pulpy, and basically starting mortal combat. That's not what you typically equate with smoking a doobie.
We'll see how it plays out, Nancy Grace.
I've got a sneaking suspicion that you are pro-pot, and I don't like it.
Nancy Grace.